Great. Thank you all for coming today. Um, First of all, update from me. I'm trying to now to showcase for the like the new features of OpenPlanner. So when we discuss, we can see more test in more realistic situations. I will share with you now. This is the YouTube link for the Carla, and also I will let me share my screen. So this one is the latest OpenPlanner working on the new Carla leaderboard challenge. You will find here it uses the map, the OpenDrive map, and convert it to KML using a script and then using it. It detects the traffic light using YOLO4 trained data set from Bosch small trained data set. And then it's guided by the map. The safety ratio is high because you will find like the prediction distance for the trajectories of each object is longer. So to make it safer, it stops for all the pedestrian crossing unintentionally. Let me show the next traffic light. Oh, yeah. So it solves, actually from the last meeting, I checked the traffic light behavior, and yeah, Max, you were right. There were issue in the behavior. So I fixed that. Now it doesn't care about the ID at all of the traffic light. So the previous ID or current ID, it doesn't matter. It just, once it crosses the traffic light line, the stop line for the traffic light, it ignores the traffic light, and then it concentrates on the next traffic light, which solves this problem. If it follows and switches nicely between follow and the traffic light stop, what it does, maybe you can't see, like you see only one behavior selected, but there is a multiple of stop distances, the stop line distance and the following distance, stopping distance for the following object. And the controller chooses, when we send the behavior, the latest state, it chooses the smallest distance to stop. So even if it's stop light or follow distance, it just chooses the latest one to stop. Yeah, sure. Ask. Your mic is.
Yeah. I experienced it, and I've implemented some new functionalities for that issue instead of just choosing the closest one. I have the presentation you wanted ready for today. We can discuss
Yeah,
that
sure,
after.
sure. That would be great. Yes, like any addition, any pull request would be great. I'm just showing that the latest version that I'm working on. Here also it can, this is another map. So the main contribution here, or the main advantage of this one is it just doesn't crash with other vehicles and doesn't violate the traffic light. and the switch between the states working fine. Of course, there is no avoidance and no lane change. Lane change here included in the original path. So this one is still not tested in the Carla environment. Please watch the video, and if you have any comments, you can ask anytime you want. So that's the latest from me. I'm trying now to create to publish to Carla leaderboard challenge. But my main issue is the Docker file creation. They support mainly the 3.7 Python, and because this uses ROS, ROS only support ROS melodic, which Autoware supports, only work with Python 2.7. So this is the main issue for me now. I'm trying to solve it. Once I solve it, I will make a tutorial video and share it with everyone. A final point from me to everyone, it seems that the release of Autoware AI 1.15 is still no go, because waiting for testing. I don't know when, but there is no updates or no bug fixes, so we can just build on the current master version and use it until the release happen. Then we can merge back or like merge the code, the latest, the fixes from the release to OpenPlanner 1.15. This is my opinion. If anyone has another suggestion, you can go ahead and tell me what do you think.
Actually, that's something I was about to suggest later. And it's something I already did, merging your latest version of OpenPlanner with the latest version of Autoware on the master. So making a pull request for that, I can do.
Okay, so you already merged 1.13?
Right now we are using the autonomous stuff Autoware version. So it's the OAP 7 that we have, but it wouldn't be very hard for me to merge it with the original Autoware in 1. Like with the last master. And I already did it, so I know what to do, and it should be relatively fast.
Okay, just send me your email. I will add you to the repository.
Okay.
To the GitHub repository. Then you can create a branch, OpenPlanner 1.15. And then you can just create it directly in that branch. Merging between
very good.
OpenPlanner 1.13 and Autoware AI 1.15.
Okay.
About the testing, by the way, we have a team that is testing Autoware 1.15 at the moment. We have a Toyota Corolla at the office that we're running the field tests on. So if there's any need for field testing OP architecture as well, we can handle that. So
okay, so what are the plans? Like when do you plan to finish this, like the test and report to the Autoware Foundation?
I'm not sure, but I can talk to the team that's doing it. So I'm not sure how the procedure works right now.
Okay, because I think the release is pending on your test.
Okay, yeah, most likely.
Okay, but okay, I guess there is no only small bug fixes will be included in the release after the testing. So we can start the merge. Kindly, Max, if you will volunteer to create the branch and start that, and I will work actively with you on doing that.
With great pleasure.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Max. Then the point, I will add you to the GitHub repository, and then you can start creating this branch and do the merge. Okay, great. This is one point solved. Moving forward. Next, who wants to present?
I could present today.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll share my screen.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And share. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
So Hatem asked me to give an overview about what I've changed in OpenPlanner and why and so on. So I'm gonna go through it. It's around 19 slides, so it's not gonna take too long. I try to be as fast as possible as I can. Okay, so what was the motivation for changes? It was the intersection movement of an AV. And we needed some change in the stop line behavior, but I think Hatem did already address this, but can have a look at it in the next pull request. And then if someone is approaching us from behind on our right side, if we want to turn right, then follow state isn't sufficient to solve the problem. Therefore, we need a new yield state. Then the solution was implement a new state into the state machine. Basically, the possibility for yielding, it was already there. So all I had to do is implement the yielding state. What in the state definition, yielding was already available. So I implemented this one. Yeah, it should say follow state, not follow state. Sorry, it was a little bit quick developing this presentation. And then I did some modifications to the stopping state and some modifications to following state. What I mean by that, I'll go through that in the following. Our approach. As said before, we always try to use the current structure that's available. Don't want to introduce much more interfaces, just keep the interface we have and use the data we have in there. Yeah, then we had to change some of the behaviors of the states. The repos we had to look at was core planning, OP local planner, and common OP planner, and something to control as well. I'll show in the next slide. For core planning, we're starting at OpenPlanner 1.13, and yeah, then changed some of the parts there. For the OP behavior selector core, there was one thing that we found out was that the rate of the behavior selector was fixed to 50 Hertz, which causes a problem if you're running your velocity at a lower rate than 50 Hertz or lower than 100 Hertz, then your calculation, the behavior selector won't be correct anymore. So you can see in here that the current velocity is fed back to the OP behavior selector. And if this is not fed in high enough rate, then your behavior selector will calculate it's not the best velocity because of the integration with the accelerations and that stuff. Yeah, now this is available in the launch file. You can set up the frequency for that. Then we have a new function in here. We are using the new function gateway area ID. So if your vehicle is in some place in the map, or is driving in the HD map, and you've configured some way area, and with your base link, or yeah, where your car right now is, is inside a way area, you will get this way area. And this information is then also sent to the behavior generated do one step function. So you have this available for the state machine now. Waypoint follower, just gonna spend too much time on it. There was something with the simulation mode 2, the direct control outputs were not, everything was not available or configurable there. It was just some small changes to have the right outputs. Then in the common, there was a little bit more change because we tried to move all the functions to the decision maker CPP and keep the rest as clean as possible. Yeah, again, starting from OpenPlanner 1.13 and then in the develop hill. In the decision maker, we have the calculate important parameter for decision maker. We added some stuff. We can go through the details if you have questions afterwards. And then the implementation of the gateway area ID is also inside the decision maker. The road network, we've added variables to behavior state, and for the pre-calculated conditions, there are some functions or variables available as well. That's what I meant with previously was a possibility to get the distance, which was basically several safe distances, and to ensure maximum safety, I think Hatem was using the smallest distance, but sometimes you want to have the distance at the stop line to get this next vehicle that's in front of you. That's available now as well. The behavior state machine. This is basically some added variables, so we know where we are right now, and this is then available in the right classes. And then we implemented this yielding state, which uses basically right now we only transition to yielding state when we are inside an intersection. That's the one condition. The other condition is if we have our path on fully blocked. These are the only two states. We can, now we have the yielding state. We can implement more features of the yielding state, more states to transit into the state, but that's right now the way to move to a yielding state. Planning helpers, we had some some little changes, modification.
Major changes.
Yeah. Second, probably I just mixed up major and minor. Fixed several issues regarding uncoupled driving behavior with high acceleration. There were major changes. We added a lot of new options for the ACC velocity model based. So the vehicle driving is now very, very comfortable. So we usually don't violate the boundary of, if we set it to 1.5 meters per second to the power of 2, then we usually don't violate it anymore. Yeah. This is something we have to look at in the pull request. You can look at it in the pull request if these are things you want to have, or in the stroke, there was in the OP controller, there was something that was with the integrator that was running. And if we had an integrator still running on the accelerator pedal, then the brake pedal was blocked. So we just had a simple if solution for that, so that the brake pedal is always first, and then the accelerator pedal. So we can always brake if we want to, even though the integrator is still high for the accelerator pedal.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end now. This was in the cross helpers, there was the yielding state not available. And then for all the behaviors of the vehicles, the predicted trajectories were always staying in the RVIS frame. So there was this lifetime we've added there for the markers. So they disappear now. Then, now we do the requirements for testing. Basically, there were a huge, lot amount of sort of changes were introduced here. So therefore, there's a lot to test. Basically, what we said, scenarios where we want to use way areas, because previously we were not really using wear areas so far. And then the changes in the ACC pedal strokes. If someone is using this part, then this has to be tested as well. We're testing this in our simulation so far, and it's working for this intersection, but it's just one intersection at one right turn. So it's kind of tested, but not against all possible solutions. But that's one of the major challenges for automated driving, I guess. Yeah. And then the last slide here. Yeah, run several simulations showing the improvements. Yeah. Now, it was kind of quick, but I don't want to waste too much time on very, very detailed parts of the solutions here and the changes.
Thank you very much. I got a general idea about the changes. And I'm just trying to think how we can add both changes with those changes and from Max development and other participants, and also Edgar from University of Tartu. They have also a lot of modifications. How we merge both without having a conflict. So it seems we need to take one piece by piece. The idea, I'm thinking to divide the control and control issues, which is in the OP waypoint follower and the OP controller. These are, we need to separate those from the behavior and behavior state selection in the decision making as much as possible. If we can do that, I think it will, because the main issue will be where we develop that. That's why the ACC function was added and it's used inside the decision maker, but it's now you can use it anywhere. It's in the OP control. So this is one of the challenges now I'm seeing with this. But I guess once we have a base for 115 on release on the master of Autoware, we add one by one, like behavior. I think we can add behavior first and ignore the control for now and test it, then move to the control part and add the modification you added for the control part. One thing I would just want to differentiate or ask about, I think you told me before, but to make sure your simulator receives only the velocity, target velocity. It doesn't receive acceleration force and braking pedal force, right?
I'm using the pedal strokes right now, not the velocity, the pedal strokes actually.
Okay, so you don't need, why you are using the ACC?
It seemed to me like a comfortable way of using the system. Directly use the ACCs.
Because actually the flow is either you use the ACC to generate like target velocity and send it to the velocity controller on the simulator or the vehicle. Like I do the same when I'm testing with the RVS with the WF simulator inside Autoware. I send only target velocity, which uses the ACC function. But when I'm working on Carla, I use only the pedal, the stroke, acceleration stroke and brake stroke, and use the PID function from the controller, avoiding the ACC at all. So you're mixing between both.
I have to check that.
can you check and confirm to me?
The most important part is the generation from the behavior selector of the current velocity. That's the basic value we're using, right?
Yes.
And then the controller afterwards is basically using this velocity. Okay, it's just easier to take a look at this slide here. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, here. So in the controller, the behavior selector send target velocity and OP controller. Before this target velocity coming from the controller, it is. Did you enable in the launch file or behavior selector launch file, common param launch file, enable ECC, internal ECC?
Yes, I think yes. I have to check again.
Okay, because if you do that, you have actually target velocity. Then you do use the controller, and the PID to try to reach this target velocity.
Yeah, I'll check again on this, but basically for me, it's not really important if I use this one. I was just using it because I thought, okay, then we have it kind of clean, and I don't introduce some other controller into the system that's not tested by the team or by the whole system. So for me, I could also just use the target velocity from the OP behavior selector, because this is right now really good.
If you use the internal ACC, you can use the direct velocity from output directly. This is the objective of that. If you disable the internal ACC, then you need to use the PID controller.
I'll check on that again if I'm using the internal in the launch file or not. Yeah.
It's just to handle two types of systems. That's the main idea.
Okay, check on that.
So if you are doing this, try to check, and please don't mix between both, so you don't get cascaded controllers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So in this case, just use target velocity and send it to the vehicle.
Yes, you can do that. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone has a question for Matt?
No, I don't have any question. I didn't work much on the velocity control in our project. So not the best one to comment here.
Okay, then Hatem, I'll send you a pull request and all from my side.
Okay. I don't wanna. Could it be divided into smaller pull requests?
I could check on that, how precisely to
if
fit it in, but I think so,
yeah. Yeah. If we can just separate between the adding the behavior, because I think adding the behavior will not affect any of Mac's work. Then it's just additional behavior. Then the controller we do it in a separate pull request to the 1.13, and then we work on the merging. What we just wait until we confirm when Max can start on the porting to 1.15. Because the better option is to merge all to 1.15.
Okay. So I'll see how to divide the pull requests into several parts, and I will wait with the pull requests until you say we are ready for it, right?
Oh yeah, thank you
Okay.
very much.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Sounds good.
Just a comment from my side that from the University of Tartu, we are also preparing the pull requests. At some point, we try to split them into different functionalities or small chunks that can be
Yes, please.
discussed then. So once we have those different pull requests, I guess then we can discuss which ones conflict with each other and what is the best course of action then. Right now, we don't have a specific plan or schedule for posting those pull requests, but I will let you know once we get into more concrete plan or
Okay,
schedule.
that sounds great. Yeah, and I think we will have some time to first to port the current 1.13 to 1.15, and then we start receiving the pull requests. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Okay.
If there is any particular deadline when you would like to make a release or something, then you can let us know and maybe we can prioritize creating those pull requests and testing them.
I hope within the next month, if I can, the target is if I can port to 1.15 the current version without adding any additional modification, which tested on Carla, because it's the most realistic simulation I can put my hand on, and it helped me to fix. Actually, I see a lot of issues which you complained about and Max complained about. Like I could see and add small fixes, and it worked now much better. So this will be like tested version, ported to 1.15. I hope within the next 1.5 months or 2 months. Then by this time we can check the pull request and discuss one by one.
Sounds good. So yeah, I guess we will schedule those pull requests somewhere in the May or something. Preparing those pull requests.
Yeah, release. Yeah, using Carla as a target to release, I think is the one practical target. And instead of just doing testing with RViz, so this tests the whole system together. Yeah, and also if there is another feature we can test it with Carla, I will ask in the next meeting for help to test those features, like in different systems, because every one of you are using different approach, so it will be nice to get other testing hand. I think also in Batuhan from ADAS Tech can help with that.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
By the way, I wanted to ask if you have any comment to why Carla, not SVL simulator?
Just 3 years, 4 years ago, I started using Carla, and I'm getting more comfortable with Carla. I have connections with the Carla team. That's only the reason. Nothing special. And when I compare, actually, every time, like it's almost similar. So just because I spend a lot of time getting it started, and I know a lot of information about it. That's it.
So we have been using the SVL simulator or LG SVL simulator as it was before. and we have been struggling running the simulator and the Autoware stack on the same machine. Like it's getting really slow. I was wondering if Carla is less resource intensive. Can you run everything on one machine?
Yeah, it runs very smoothly. On my machine, before the new machine, my machine was but I had a decent machine, i7, 32 gig RAM, and GTX 124. So like NVIDIA card, which helps a lot. So
124.
Yeah, let me make sure it's check. GTX 180, sorry. 180. NVIDIA GTX 180. So I think this is
we are mostly using laptops with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1050 GTX 1050.
The problem with I had a laptop and I used to run, it's slow, yes. Where laptop, even with the same specs as the PC, it's different. The GPU is different. Because the power, it can't use as much power as the PC, and it's lower specs than the spec than the one in the PC.
Okay.
I have a question here from map support. Okay, I'll answer this question after finish with Dr. Tamba. So if you use PC, I think it will work both okay.
Yes.
The map support, actually I use OpenDrive. I convert OpenDrive using the Assure mapping tool into KML, or you can actually convert it to also Line 2 if you want, and use it. So yeah, I'm using the supported maps from from Carla. One more question. Sync mode? No, I never use sync mode for Carla Simulator. I don't know if it will go faster or not. But actually, if you're using synchronous mode, you don't care about faster, you just use it for debugging. This is my idea. Sync mode is useful to debug step by step, and you get deterministic output. Performance-wise, it's not the best way to check your performance. The asynchronous mode, of course, is the most realistic one, because that's what happened on the real car. There's randomization factor in that. I hope this answered the questions. Max, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. So about the map, because I run some tests for today, I wanted to test the swerving, especially with the last OpenPlanner version on your repo. And I run into like one problem is that the maps, you expect them to be, you expect the velocity on the maps to be in kilometer per hour. Is that right?
The map, yes.
Because all our maps are in the velocity is in meter per second.
Yes,
and at first I got really confused because at least in the version of Autoware that is bundled in, the version of OpenPlanner that is bundled in Autoware, it expects velocities in meter per second. And I thought this decision was a bit curious because I lost a lot of time wondering, but why is it going so slow? And
yes,
yes,
yeah. Actually, this was a problem. Most of the maps after that I checked, it was using kilometer per hour in the map.
Okay, because maybe Edgar can comment that, but should because I thought that the specifications of at least the XML maps is that the velocity should be in meter per second, but I might be wrong.
I added in the latest updates in OpenPlanner 2. There is a function, once I load the map, I convert the speed to meter per second.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that, and I commented them out, and then it worked.
Okay, okay. So because your maps are yeah, maybe we can add a parameter in the map loader. They should be more professional. Like add a parameter in the map loader. What's the measurement unit?
Yes. And so also one other problem I had is that, so I used the OpenPlanner simulator to test, and I ran into a problem that it didn't seem to, so it was just like regular OpenPlanner out of the box, really. And it didn't stop in time for obstacles. So I don't know if it's a bug that with the current master, or I can show a video that I recorded.
Okay, please show. Send the link or like share screen.
I will share the screen. Okay, can you see it? So I don't know if you can read, but on the left, it's the output of local weighted trajectories. So there is only one lane, and you can just see here the weighted trajectory on this lane. So here I just set my path, and you can see that here there is an obstacle that is simulated, and it's run through the whole pipeline using uses a cave contour. So, and here, so we will get closer, and here you see that the closest object distance is detected, and it's 80 meters, which seems to be way too much compared to what is actually happening in the simulation. And it will eventually hit the obstacle, and the closest object distance will drop very quickly, and then the car will just stop there. So I can send the bag of this problem to you, but I'm not sure it's
the closer, yeah, it's
problem on my side or. So it was just out of the box, like really. I just
maybe you just check the parameters or the deceleration, acceleration factors, because this stopping velocity depends on those additional stopping distance and additional stopping distance, acceleration, deceleration.
Okay. And because the closest object distance was clearly wrong, and I think we encountered that kind of problem as well for the goal distance to goal variable. It's calculated approximately the same way, and we always get distance that seems a bit overestimated when we are far away and underestimated when we are close. So could it be that it's a problem with how this distance is calculated? Because I know it just takes the distance between each waypoints. Could it be a problem with that our map is not refiltered using the OpenPlanner map filtering?
I don't think, because this actually this distance is like one of the factors is the current velocity of the vehicle. So when you are
Yes.
running fast, it thinks that the distance is further. So when you start slowing down, this distance gets smaller, but the ratio is not.
Okay.
Actually, the problem is the ratio is not fixed, and this might be the problem in the equation, or not, or parameter tuning, because when I try this in the Carla simulator, I always get correct distance and stop before the cars. So mostly you have problem with parameters. What we can do is, if you have time, maybe day after tomorrow, or any we can set a time, a meeting. You can share with me your screen, and we can check the parameters again.
Unfortunately, I don't think I will be available before almost next week, I think, or this
Okay.
Friday maybe eventually. But
no, okay, no, next week, okay. I'm just wanna check the parameters with you. So might be a one parameter tuning.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Okay.
And I also had one other question about Carla. Can Carla run in headless mode and eventually on a server without GUI? Like
yes. You
user
can
interface?
disable the display and run, like the run it without any without the GUI. So yeah,
okay.
You can do that. We have
Because
actually
it
in
might...
the Keda lab in Nagoya University, we have Carla installed on the server.
Okay.
And people who are using laptops, they just connect to the server and use it. Yeah.
Okay, indeed, that could be really interesting, because I was thinking about because if we are several people working on the project, what do you think about introducing some code quality standards and verification and tests, and like in the future? What's your opinion about that?
Yes, we can do that, and I hope we can. Maybe we can take some of the already developed Autoware.ai standards, so we can try to follow the standards of Autoware AI as much as possible. Of course, we need to develop some different way of testing, but as a coding standards or process, there is a good defined process in the Carla.ai, Autoware.ai GitHub repository. We can start using that.
Yeah, I was precisely thinking about that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We are. It's part of Autoware, so we don't want to diverge from the mainstream. Yes, it's like to merge with the actually AI.Autoware.auto or Autoware.ai. It's much more difficult, and we try to make it a bit easier. But yeah, it's good to follow some the minimum amount of standardization and rules. I agree with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any presentation? Armin, do you have something this time?
I do have nothing today, no. I'm still working on the direct Open Drive integration with OpenPlanner. But I have to fix some issues with all of those different lane IDs and automatically connecting them into a KML data structure, which isn't too easy.
Did you check the Azure mapping tool?
Yeah, I did check it. Matthias already uses it, so I checked it together with him.
You can use it in a command line to convert in a script. Convert OpenDrive to KML.
Yeah.
But you are doing the opposite. Yeah. Sorry, I remember. You are doing the opposite. You wanna create OpenDrive, right?
Yeah, I want to directly support OpenDrive file loading for the OpenPlanner.
Okay. You can use the script. I can send you a script which you can actually in a command line convert the OpenDrive map to KML and load it in OpenPlanner. I use that with the Carla challenge. Like the video I've shown you now, the maps.
Yeah.
And maps are all in OpenDrive. So I receive the map data as OpenDrive XML from Carla server. Then I write that map into a .xodr file, use the Azure map tool in a command line, convert it to KML, and then load it by OpenPlanner. It takes about 1.5 seconds to do that, but because it's only one time at the initialization stage, so this is not a big issue.
Yeah, I understand what you do, but I would prefer to be able to support all of the OpenDrive specific map information, which will also be even more in the future, which is currently not supported by KML. And it would be weird to use a hybrid solution with file conversion and afterwards still having to load the OpenDrive map to be able to, for example, have detailed information about crosswalks and traffic signs and so on.
Yes, but again, you can also use the library. But anyway, whatever comfortable for you. If you need help, just there is like I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. So
of course, yeah. Yeah, I also do it kind of for better understanding of the map format. So it's also kind of a learning exercise for me.
Yeah, sure. I understand that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your help, for your offer of helping. And I also had no time over the Easter holidays to answer your message, but I get to that soon, and then we can link up more in detail.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the Easter, everyone. Enjoy the Easter holidays. Depend on how, if you take holiday or not. We don't have holiday in Japan. Okay, we have a question. Adapting OP to Autoware Auto. Currently, we are waiting for Autoware Auto to be like in a stable state. So we discussed that last time, or that like first meeting. We mainly will support for at least 2021 this year, Autoware.ai until the release, or like the 1.15. Hopefully by next year, Autoware Auto, the new ODD proposal architecture will be merged, and there will be a stable release. At that time, then we can move the libraries, and because it's ROS 2, we need to create a ROS 2 wrappers for the new nodes for OpenPlanner. But mostly the OpenPlanner library will be moved to Autoware Auto, and then ROS 2 nodes will be created instead of the ROS 1 nodes. But that's it's still long time because Autoware auto still in active development stage, and there is no release with enough functionality for us to utilize. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Matthias, can you please share your presentation?
Yes, I'll create a PDF and then share it in the working group.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have our points to sum up our meeting. I will work with Max in the next stage to import the OpenPlanner 2 to Autoware.ai 1.15. Then we start receiving pull requests from Matthias and from all developers from Tartu University, step by step. And then actually before that, we'll have a release. After we merge with 1.15 and test, we'll have a release. Then we start merging the pull requests of the modification from Augsburg University and Tartu University. That's our plan. Okay. Thank you all for joining the meeting. So we meet again in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you for the meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. See you.